Okay, we back for another Huey Daniels tidbit. We're gonna tell a joke today. Last few tidbits been a little preachy, been a little serious, so I'm gonna tell a joke. So there's this fly that sees this piece of grain on this river, and the fly's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go down and grab that so I can eat." Meanwhile, there's a fish that's looking at the fly that's looking at that piece of grain on the river. And the fish is like, when that fly lands on the river and gets that piece of grain, I'm going to jump up and eat the fly and I'm going to have my dinner. Meanwhile, there's a bear that's watching that fish, that's watching that fly, that's looking at that piece of food on the river. And the bear is like, when the fly lands on the river and the fish jumps up and eats the fly, I'm going to swipe the fish and get my dinner. Meanwhile, there's a hunter that's watching that bear, that's watching that fish, who's watching that fly, that's watching that piece of food. And the hunter's like, when that fly lands on the river and the fish jumps up and eats the fly and the bear swipes the fish, I'm going to shoot the bear while it's distracted and I'm going to get my big piece of game. Meanwhile, there's a mouse that's watching this piece of cheese outside of the back pocket of the hunter, who's watching the bear, who's watching the fish, who's watching that fly look at the piece of grain on the river. And the mouse is like, when the fly lands on the river and the fish jumps up and eats that grain and the bear swipes that fish and the hunter shoots that bear, a piece of cheese is going to drop out his pocket and I'm going to get my cheese on. Meanwhile, there's a cat who's watching that mouse, who's watching that hunter, who's watching that bear, who's watching that fish, who's watching that fly. And the cat's like, when that fly lands on the riverbed and the fish jumps up and the bear swipes that fish and the hunter shoots the bear, the cheese falls out and the mouse is going to go for that cheese, I'm going to go after the mouse. So boom, everything pop off, right? The fly drops on the river, the fish jumps up, eats the fly, the bear swipes the fish, and then the hunter shoots the bear, the cheese falls out, and then the mouse goes for the cheese, and then the cat goes after the mouse, and then misses the mouse, and then stumbles into the riverbed. What's the moral of the story? You gotta go through a whole bunch of shit to get some pussy wet.
This motherfucker.